There it is. All right, let's go ahead and let's get this started. Oh, let me mute out so I don't hear myself. Excellent. Let's go. Let's go. So we got a couple minutes. I'm also going to double check to make sure everything is copacetic and that I am live on my channel. And I'm going to, let's see, power. Yes, I'm here. I'm live. Wonderful. Yes, I'm live. So let's go. Let's go. Let's also record. Wonderful. Okay. So actually, you know what? I can do this. Let's mute out the sound. Let's make sure everything is recording. That's a beautiful thing. And we're going to get started in a couple minutes. So I want to thank you all for those of you that are taking the time out to hear. Let's see. Let me make sure that I am reaching out to people. Let me turn this down. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so this is a wonderful thing. Recording as well. So for anybody too as well that they want to can't for some reason can't access the replay, it will be here. And also you may see excerpts of this on various platforms. So get ready where this is going to be a good one today. I'm excited. Let me pull up the PowerPoint. Let me minimize any sensitive materials. All right, let's minimize that. Don't need that. Let's minimize that. Good stuff. Okay, 6 o'clock. I'm here to start on time because I'm sensitive of everyone's spend. So I want to thank you all in advance for taking the time out to watch this workshop. So I'm excited. Let me go ahead and pull up the PowerPoint. Our title this week is called The Power of Micro Wins, How Small Steps Lead to Big Success. I also just want to let you know that that next week won't be there. That won't be doing a workshop. I'll be attending a conference. So during that time, I will be unavailable. But the good thing is that in that conference, I'm going to be picking up some skills and things that I'm going to translate over to my workshops and to anyone that's interested in connecting on a one-on-one basis for a long-term status. If you're interested in that and knowing one-on-one, just go to talkwithtrevor.com and and set up a free goal setting session. I have a few more this week. Okay, so looking forward to that. But let's jump in because we are starting on time. That is a blessing. Um, let's go. So let's share the screen and we can go ahead and get started. All right, so connecting, as I said, our topic today, and let me make sure that you're able to see the screen. It's the power of micro wins, how small steps lead to big success. Let me get the PowerPoint going. Wonderful. So just checking here online. All right, looks like you can all see it, which is a blessing, which is great. So let's go here. The power of micro wins, how small steps lead to big success. So I was thinking about this when I came up with the workshop, is that many times when we're looking to make a change in our lives, we're thinking about one massive decision, one huge thing. If this one thing could change, if only this one thing, if only it made a decision to do this, if only it's this big, this it's only really when you think about it, it's about taking those small steps. It's about really the micro wins you have that lead to the big success. So it's not just making that one big decision. It's all the decisions that lead up to it. It's all the things you collect that build that up. If you think about it, when it comes to filling up a bucket of water with rain, what happens is it's not just a faucet. It's the collection of raindrops over time that eventually will fill that bucket. It's the same thing when you have your goals. If you think of your goals as a bucket or as a barrel, that it's a matter of all the decisions you collect, all the steps, all the skills, all those turns that you make so that you're able to now fill up and complete your goals, or maybe even exceed the rim of that, which is what you aim for, is to not only hit your goals, but to exceed that so that you can continue to move further. All right, let me just take a quick sip. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So, the power of micro wins, how small steps lead to big success. So this is going to be a workshop that's going to assist you and help you build what we call is unstoppable momentum through daily intentional actions. So notice we use the word momentum versus motivational, because motivational is the one hit and then it goes. Momentum is the steady climb that builds you up as you proceed towards your goals, whatever your goals may be. So let's start there. So let's talk about what the problem is, even though we've already highlighted on some of that. So what's our problem? Problem is that the big goals, they feel overwhelming, and we've all been there. So you're setting ambitious goals. They look really great. They look amazing, huge, wonderful, until reality sets in. People, family, places, notifications, time, sleep, rest, exercise, all these things come into play. And what happens is that you set these massive goals, and when these things come in, one, you feel paralyzed by the size of your dreams. It's so big, you don't know where to go, so you don't go. Then you procrastinate because you don't know where to start. Do I start here? Do I call somebody? Should I plan something and able to see it all written out? And then what happens is when you don't see those immediate results, you give up. So this is fact. The traditional approach fails. Why? Study shows that 92%, 92, not 29, you're not reading that incorrectly. When it comes to those New Year goals, 92% fail by February. In fact, there is a day called Quitter's Day. It's on the calendar. It's in there. If you Google it, you'll find out when Quitter's Day is. 92% fail. Why? Because when you've only focused on the destination, it's just that the journey becomes too much of a challenge. It's too daunting. So that's what happens. That's the challenge of it all. So now that we know what the problem is, because it's what happens is you want to look at it and break it up into small pieces. And that's where it comes the micro wins solutions. Why? Micro wins, they're small, achievable actions, but they build confidence and momentum. There's that word again, momentum. Stay keen on that term, because when it comes to momentum, that's going to be the difference maker between success and frustration. So you want to make your goals, one, achievable, small enough to complete in a single day of session, regardless of time constraints or energy levels. Next, you want to be consistent. When those goals, when those wins are strung together, they create powerful momentum and they compound over time. Compound interest is an excellent thing. If you're not familiar with that, I suggest you definitely research that. Compound means it's going to expand bigger than, meaning that that one hit that you made is going to have a multiplicative impact. All right, it's going to go beyond what you do. Now, neurological. Each small win, it releases dopamine. What does that dopamine do? It rewires your brain to crave more productive action. So you have this chemical that's operating and released when you have those wins. And your brain is going to say, hey, that was excellent. That's a wonderful thing. Where can we get more of that? There you go. So let's dig more into the science behind that, the science behind micro wins. One, it's when you accomplish small tasks. Sometimes you may see your brain, it's going to release that dopamine. Now, that dopamine sometimes is called what we call the reward chemical, because it's creating positive feedback. It's feedback branches in your head that make you want to continue. This is excellent. I've got to get more of this. It becomes that much more addictive. That's wow. So it creates what, so as you see, scientists call the success momentum. So this is a state where achievement breeds more and more achievement. Once you've accomplished this, you've learned to play this one song, you want to play others, you want to learn new notes, new chords, and things along those lines. Next, it moves to habit formation. So the research from the European Journal of Social Psychology shows consistent small actions form the foundation of lasting habits in approximately 66 days. Let's think about that. 66 days, everyone. Not the 21. The 21 we've heard, that's what starts it. It's 66 days that create the foundation of lasting habits. So think about that. Any habit that you want to last needs to continue, needs to be consistent for 66 days. That includes now, and habits don't have qualities. It's only us who ascribe qualities to them. So good habits, bad habits, beneficial, detrimental. So, but a habit forms in approximately 66 days. So you need to be intentional with the habits you want to create. Now, micro wins, they help bridge the gap between your initial motivation, like I said, it's initial, and automatic behavior. That's really important. So now that you know the science behind it, and anyone, if you have any questions, feel free to chime in, put a one in the comment. If you're getting this, put a one in the chat. One meaning that, yes, I'm following, this is tracking, this is making sense. Also, if you're watching this live, put hashtag live in the comment. Say, I'm watching this live. This lets me know who's live. If you put hashtag replay in the comments, that lets me know that you're watching this on the replay. And what happens is if you have a question, I'll get a notification so I can respond to you in an excellent way. Otherwise, you can also private message me as well. So now we know that the science behind micro wins. Our next step in moving forward is tracking the micro wins. So tracking is important. Why? Because it transforms your perception of progress. If it's not measured, it's not met. Once again, if it's not measured, it's not met. So you've got to track your micro wins. One, you got to capture daily. So you document every small win, no matter how insignificant it seems. Use a dedicated journal, app, or a simple notepad. I would even say also have a dedicated space as well that you're doing this in. So if you're doing this at your desk, you're doing this you're doing this outside, you're doing this in a particular room, let that be the space you capture your wins. Now, review it weekly. So you set aside time each week to review all your micro wins, connecting them to your larger goals and celebrating your progress. Celebrating your progress. I say that more than once because there are times where when it comes to your progress, you just move along, move to the next thing, move to the next thing, move to the next thing. You want to take time to acknowledge it. Now, there are people that you may need a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, what have you. You shouldn't be celebrating for a week because of this micro win. The point is to acknowledge it, celebrate the fact that you've moved forward, and then continue to proceed towards your goals. So you want to share strategically. You tell an accountability coach about your wins to increase commitment and receive external validation of your progress. See, that's where the accountability comes in. It's so key in order to make sure that when you're tracking your micro wins, that you're hitting your markers, that you're standing in integrity, you're doing what you're saying you're doing. Now, this is we'll talk about rewiring your mindset. We want progress over perfection. You want momentum versus motivation. All right. From all or nothing to something is better than nothing. Perfectionists, many times, they often think if I can't do it correctly, why bother? Micro wins teach you that imperfect action still moves you forward. It does. Now, and now that's one step. Next, you go from outcome focus to process appreciation. Instead of fixating solely on end results, you learn and take the time to value and enjoy the journey itself. Each step becomes its own reward. Lastly, you move from external validation to internal scorecard. You develop the ability to recognize and celebrate your own progress without needing anyone else to acknowledge it. These are key. So this is a rewiring of your mindset. Whatever you learn from the age of 2 to 10 to 20 to whatever age that you're at and you're watching this, you want to be sure that your brain is wired for the minds, wired for your success. This is all rewiring mindset. You're training your brain. All right. Now, as you move forward, what happens with these micro wins is that you build lasting confidence, not just confidence, lasting confidence. So each micro wins, it creates the evidence that you are capable and effective. It takes your self-doubt and replaces it with self-belief. That's important. When it comes to your brains and your thoughts, it's not about just removing it, but it's about replacing it with something that's there. Because if you remove it, you have an emptiness that's there. That's there. And so that self-doubt, it may be removed at some time, but if you don't fill that space, that means that thing can come back even stronger. So it's important to make sure that as you're removing certain habits that have been detrimental, you're immediately replacing them with the habits that's going to help you move forward, such as the power of micro wins and rewiring your mindset. Now, this lasting confidence, this goes beyond the specific goal into other aspects of your life. So remember, confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build with one small victory at a time. You're not built with confidence. You're not born with confidence. You build that. You come out the womb. It's not that I come out the womb. I'm confident. I have this. No, you got a team of people, or you got someone helping you out. All right. So just like it says here, unlike motivation, which fluctuates daily, confidence built through consistent micro wins become a stable foundation for continued growth. All right. If this is landing, put a one into the chat. Thank you. And thank you for putting the hashtag live. All right. So now, as we're building this lasting confidence, remember, we're just not building confidence, we're building lasting confidence. That qualifier is so key when it comes to your goals. It's not just building confidence for the sake of confidence, it's building lasting confidence that's going to push you forward in the process of not only achieving your goals, but rewiring your brains for success. So, next, when we're talking about transforming overwhelm into actions. So what are the steps we take? One, you identify one small action. When you're looking at a complex goal, you say, what's the tiny action I can take in the next 15 minutes that would move me forward? Think about that. 15 minutes, one small action that moves you forward. When you break things down into pieces like that, then you see that it starts to build. Everything is a step. All your feet takes steps, and the steps you take, the goal is to lead you to your goals. All right, that's important. Now, next, you complete and celebrate. Said that you do that one thing, pause to acknowledge it properly. Stop there. Pause to acknowledge it properly before moving on. I did it. It was a great thing. It was an excellent and wonderful thing that it was done. So this is how you do it. And you celebrate that. Then you repeat and build. You let that energy from that first win naturally guide you to the next small step. So there's no forced pressure. It's about making sure that you are identifying that action, you complete it, you celebrate it properly, and then you continue to build forward. So what does that look like in action? So one, micro wins in action. One could be, one example is building a high-performing team through small daily check-ins. Another one is developing sustainable fitness routines with one small step at a time. Also, it could be reigniting a passion project by committing to just 10 minutes per day. 10 minutes per day is a process. That is so key. So now, let me just check here. True indeed. Yep. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, it's about progress versus perfection. As when we wait for perfection, that never comes. Because perfection will come someday, but someday is not a day that's on the calendar. So you've got to be comfortable with focusing on progress. And as I put in a particular post, you've got to sometimes be able to do it messy. I know you may say, what do I mean by that? So just let me go big screen on this, is that I put up a post a couple days ago, and I put out daily posts. Probably going to be increased that, but every day you will see a post from me on whatever platform you may be on. Put it out, same thing. And I did a post right after I was outside working, doing some landscaping stuff, and I was hot, I was sweaty, all those things. I knew it was still time that I had to get out my daily posts, because that's something I'm consistent in doing, to put out encouragement. What did I do? I grabbed my phone, I hit the record button, and did one take. Now, did it take one take? No, it took a few takes. But what I didn't do was I didn't get myself together. I didn't jump in the shower. I didn't, do my hair, whatever. What I did was I took that phone and I immediately began to record. Why? Because it's about the action that I'm taking. I can tell you it. Sometimes, though, there are times where you need to see that action taking the thing. And so what I did was I recorded myself messy, recorded it messy, kind of all over the place. My message was pure, was that regardless of me looking for the perfect time to record, to post, to do that, I went ahead and did it. The purpose of that was, many times when you're aiming for your goals, can be a message in the mess, meaning that you feel messy, you feel like you don't have all the pieces, but as you move forward, you're seeing the results. You're taking notes of ways you can improve. You're making the adjustments. You're getting insight and advice from those that you trust. And because of that, you're still moving forward. It's messy, but it's momentum. You see that? Momentum in the messiness, momentum in that, because you're pushing forward. Now, will all my recordings or content be like that? No, they won't. However, it's a matter of, when it comes to your goals, not waiting for the perfect thing, making sure that you focus on the micro wins, you're pushing forward, and you're focusing on progress and not perfection. All right. So I wanted to go big screen on that because it was that important. All right. So let me go back to the slide. I think I just got one more. And so what I want to do is, let's focus on that. What are your next steps? Your next step starts now, meaning that, one, here's your action plan. Choose one goal that matters. Now, notice how I paused. There's still more to the sentence. Think about it. First, choose one goal. Then choose one goal that matters. Next, choose one goal that matters deeply to you. Notice how I'm pausing. Notice how I have that. How I said choose, because you could have emphasis, different intonation on certain things. I could say choose one goal that matters deeply to you. 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 But you know what? Let's even break that down to a micro. Choose one goal. Choose a goal that matters. Choose a goal that matters deeply to you. That's an example of breaking something down. So you choose a goal that matters deeply to you, that has an impact. Then you identify your first micro win. If you're writing a book, for instance, it could be the fact that, okay, I want to write every day. That's too wide. What you could say is, I want to write 5 sentences every day. And you write 5 sentences. And so you say, you know what, I like writing, I'm going to write 5 sentences every day. Now you write 5 sentences every day. You do that for a week, you've got 35 sentences. 2 weeks, 70. 3 weeks, 140. That's a chapter. So you're like, man, well, maybe I can increase it to. You can increase it. My suggestion is, before you increase it, show consistency in those micro wins. Now, here it is, we're talking about identify your first micro win, something you can do in 15 minutes or less. So let's say it's those 5 sentences. You do 5 sentences, move forward. Next, you commit to completing it within 24 hours. And then you document and celebrate when you've done it. There you go. There's your plan. So remember, you don't need to take a small leap. You don't need to take a giant leap, just the next right step. All right. And that's it. That's all there is. It's a matter of really taking those actions, making sure that you select the goal that matters deeply to you, break it into what can be done in 15 minutes inside of the 24 hours you have, and achieving it. Once you do that, you review it weekly. When you review it weekly, you also check in with an accountability coach. And you check in with that accountability coach, that coach knows what your goal is, when you're going to achieve it, what time of the day you plan on doing that, and you review with them on a regular basis so that you can be consistent and you can build that lasting confidence that lays the foundation for all your future micro wins. So that's how these small steps can lead to big success. All right. Anyone that you see, it wasn't just the one big thing. You might have heard about that one thing, but there was a series of small steps that led them to their success. This is the power of the micro wins. All right. So that's it. If you are interested in and getting any some goal settings, some suggestions, some customized insight on this, I have some goal setting sessions available this week. You can get on my calendar at talkwithtrevor.com. And this is 15 minutes. This is not a sales call. I repeat, this is not a sales call. This is a brief session. We can discuss what your goals are and decide what are how can we break this up so you can then create these micro wins that's going to lead you to your big success. So I encourage you, get on my calendar, talkwithtrevor.com. I'll leave it in the comments. It'll be either in the description or in the comments, but click on that link, book a time. I'd love to be able to assist you with that because really the goal is not just to take in and say, okay, this is great information. It's to apply it. All right. So hope this was a help for you. I appreciate you all. And once again, I won't be on next Wednesday because I'll be attending a conference. So there'll be some virtual and all that. So, but during the time when I usually do it, I'll be unavailable. But trust indeed and know that the things that I learned that I take in because I'm always pushing forward, I do my best to translate it and put it into these workshops for you. All right. So I want to thank you all so much. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next workshop. Also, if you are not already someone that follows me and subscribes, please subscribe, follow, hit the bell for notifications because I post daily. Also, there'll be times that I may be going live, so you want to be aware of that, where I may just go live on a particular topic. But yes, in order to move forward, to really get that customized help, I'm opening my door to you. Goal setting session, talkwithtrevor.com. All right. So I appreciate you all. I will see you all in the next vid out there. I'm wishing you so much success. Be blessed.